Thank you. Leading off the last segment of today. Thank you for your attention. So AzuraBio, we are developing an absorbable sling for the treatment of stress urinary incontinence. You might wonder, what is stress urinary incontinence? Don't let the word stress throw you off. This is a form of incontinence that's caused with activity. So let's say you laugh, cough, sneeze, physical activity, leak urine. That's what stress urinary incontinence is. Urinary incontinence as a whole affects 1 of 3 million. It's a huge problem. And the part that disappoints me most is that the primary therapy for stress urinary incontinence is to wear diapers and pads. And that just, I don't know how about you, that just strikes me as wrong. I've been involved with this field for 25 years, and we've been fighting that battle ever since. There is a great solution for the surgical solution of stress urinary incontinence, and it's called a polypropylene sling. The challenge with slings is, for those of you that follow the space, they've been harmed by the FDA warnings against polypropylene mesh when used for prolapse, a different indication. But they've been harmed by it. It's caused a lot of confusion because people think there's something wrong with the polypropylene sling. If you go ask any of the academic physicians, they'll tell you there's nothing wrong with the sling. But because of the FDA warning, it caused the market to drop by 40%. So instead of increasing the number of slings since that time, it's just dropped off in a significant way. But we have a solution for that. At AzuraBio, we've developed a solution using a long-term absorbable material. So the challenge had been with absorbables is they resorbed too quickly into the body and didn't give enough time for a repair to occur. So slings were developed out of permanent materials. Well, now there's a new class of materials called long-term absorbables. They give you the same efficacy without the complications. The product we've selected, the material we've selected is called polybutylene succinate, and it is known to the FDA. There's an existing 510K on it. And we've also innovated in adding Vicryl, PLGA, Vicryl to the base material at specific zones to provide the structural support necessary for incontinence, to restore continence for women. And that's part of our patent that has been filed and published, and we're proceeding down the path to get that issued. The absorbable sling will double the market size. There's no doubt about it. We've done research on it and talked to physicians, a group of 75 physicians, and they said 2 things about it. One, patients will prefer this to the permanent sling. When they present a permanent sling today, they're fighting patients to get it because of the negative perception. An absorbable sling won't have that negative perception. Second thing is, it's going to bring a bunch of new patients into the pool. It's going to allow them and us to start remarketing these products and bringing patients back in to this excellent outpatient procedure. How does it work, though? If it's absorbable and it goes away, how does it work? And what I talked about is you have this sling is essentially in the purple. Here's the urethra. The sling goes underneath and around the urethra. And then you have these zones on the side, this lateral support outside the urethral zone where we're supporting that mid-urethral complex. And this is where we're integrating our Vicryl tissue to help restore or create that functional tissue ingrowth that we want to last forever, right? We want to provide that. Once that material resorbs, you want to have a good support structure there. The good news is we have 2-year data on these long-term absorbable materials, both sheep studies and human pilot studies that have validated the safety and provided promising efficacy data. We've also met with the FDA and had pre-sub meetings that have confirmed our 510K pathway and confirmed a 120-patient single-arm study. We've also confirmed the primary endpoint, 50% improvement in 1 hour pad weight. And the significance of that is it's a very objective endpoint. A 50% improvement is a fairly low hurdle to achieve. So we know we'll get through that. But that's the standard for continence therapies when they run the trials. We'll definitely far exceed that. It just makes it easier to get through the process. And like all the companies presenting here, we do have an excellent team of people that know this space really well. I've been involved in this space for 25 years. My partner, founder, David Staskin, is a urologist, an inventor, and multiple, 150 plus publications, and also a textbook author on incontinence. Jan-Paul Rubers from Amsterdam has done the most research on absorbable materials for the pelvic floor. We've got the best people, and the other members of our team help support that group. We've got a product budget and timeline that's very clear and laid out here. We're in the process of raising $5 million. I've got about $2 million of that soft circled, so looking to complete that round. And then we need an additional $10 million once we get to the start of the clinical study to get us through the clinical study. So $15 million gets us through to a 510K cleared product. The revenue growth we've forecasted for this is high, primarily because it's going to be a disruptive product. There's nothing like it. Reimbursement's already in place. We don't have to do anything because the existing codes will read on the product we're developing. Existing CPT codes are available to be used for both the physician and the hospital outpatient procedure. And then we're not going to require any training for the physician. We're going to use the same exact tools that they use today to implant it. We're just going to put an absorbable material in instead of the permanent mesh thing that they use today. The other great thing is it's a platform technology. So absorbable materials are used in many different medical applications. For women's health, we'll be able to develop a pelvic organ prolapse solution. So beyond pessaries, when they use pessaries, they do surgical procedures for prolapse. These materials will be well suited for that. Breast reconstruction, a big opportunity in that area for absorbable materials. Abdominal hernias and other applications in orthopedics for tendon and ligament repair. From an exit strategy standpoint, we've spoken to a number of these strategics who want to invest, but they want to be at the clinical study start. So that's why we're doing a $5 million round now, and then we'll do a $10 million round when we get to the clinical study. We expect a number of these will offer some type of investment and acquisition as a part of that, a structured acquisition. If that doesn't happen and we pursue a different path, when we get through the clinical study, it's likely somebody's going to acquire this because it's a novel technology, doesn't need any reimbursement, and physicians are already trained to do the procedure. And if that doesn't happen, then we'll just pursue an IPO at launch. And there's been a company, Axonics, in the overactive bladder space. Some of you may know, they went public in 2018 because they didn't like the offers they got or thought they were worth more than what they got. They just sold for $3.4 billion five years later. So a great acquisition that just occurred in our space and generates interest from the investment community. So we've got a highly disruptive product with low barriers to adoption. We've got a great team with a great track record that knows this space. We've got excellent preclinical and human clinical data supporting our path forward. And we've got a platform technology that will allow us, because of the unique design, will allow us to sell off different indications and continue to monetize the work that we do as we go forward. That's my presentation, and like I said, we're looking to raise $5 million, and I look forward to the discussion afterward. Are there any questions?
Thank you so much, John, for
thank
your
you.
presentation.